Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the headline below, Iran has offered an $80 million bounty for Trump. You have to be very careful of the words we say here on YouTube, but you know what I'm saying. Alright, so we'll get more into that after this.
Because I am hard, you will not like me, but the more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Alright, welcome back to the channel. So, as I was looking at modern news about this whole Iran thing today, I discovered that they have escalated things and they have decided to offer a reward, $1 for each of its citizens, if somebody is willing to bring them the head of Trump. Okay, so what is this going to mean? Well, let's get into the video first, and then we'll, do a little bit of the article, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so without further ado, here we are. All right. So here it is. It offers $80 million bounty for Donald Trump's head after the death of General. Iranian authorities have put a bounty on American President Donald Trump's head during the televised funeral of General Soleimani after he was assassinated last week. And this is what they said.
80 میلیون دلار آتش به اختیار هدیه خواهیم داد به کسی که سر دستور دهنده قتل و ترور بزرگمرد این انقلاب رو برای ما رقم زد. هر کس سر مردک موزرد دیوانه رو برای ما بیاره 80 میلیون دلار از طرف ملت بزرگ ایران آتش به اختیار بهش هدیه خواهیم داد.
All right.
80 میلیون دلار آتش به اختیار هدیه خواهیم داد به کسی که سر دست.
Let's do this, because we don't need to hear it again. All right. Cancel. Thank you. All right, and this is from Mirror, so it's a reliable source. I'm going to go ahead and put the description in the article link in the description below. An $80 million bounty has been placed on Donald Trump's head in the wake of Soleimani's assassination, according to reports. During the televised funeral of the top Iranian official, state broadcasters said $1 would be tabled for every Iranian in the country, with the cash going to whoever killed the U.S. president. For the record, if there's any government officials, Secret Service, CIA, I am not supporting this one bit. I am not organizing this. I am not looking to do this. I'm reporting what I see, and as you will continue to observe, we're going to talk about how bad this is going to be for us as we progress through this article. Iran has 80 million inhabitants. Based on the Iranian population, we want to raise 80 million, which is a reward for those who get close to the head of President Trump. It was announced according to EN24. Soleimani, Iran's permanent military commander, was killed on Friday in a U.S. drone strike on his convoy at the Baghdad airport. And there's the yellow-headed idiot, or lunatic as they had referred to. The attack took long-running hostels between Washington and Tehran into uncharted territory and raised the specter of wider conflict in the Middle East. Earlier today, Iranian MP, whatever that name is, threatened to attack the heart of American politics. And there's the dead general. And I do have pictures, but they're very graphic. He said, we can attack the White House itself. We can respond to them on the American soil. He said, according to the Iranian Labor News Agency, we have the power, and God willing, we will respond in appropriate time. He went on to say that this is a declaration of war, which means if you hesitate, you lose. All right, I guess there's all those people there for the funeral. When someone declares war, do you want to respond to the bullets with flowers? They will shoot you in the head, whatever that means. During an open session of parliament in Tehran this afternoon, President Trump was called a terrorist in a suit after he threatened to hit 52 Iranian sites hard if Tehran attacks Americans or U.S. assets. Well, I mean, honestly, if you do attack Americans, what do you want us to do? Roll over and tickle ourselves? We're going to respond. All right? Soleimani was an architect of Tehran's clandestine and military operations abroad as head of the Revolutionary Guards Force. I guess that's their army. All right, Supreme Leader promised on Friday that Iran would seek harsh revenge for his death. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that if there were further Iranian attacks on U.S. targets, Washington would respond with lawful strikes against makers orchestrating such attacks. And I guess they've been yelling death to America, etc., etc. ISIS is the U.S. U.S. is Trump. And the intelligence assessment made clear that no action allowing Soleimani to continue his plotting and his planning, his terror campaign, created more risk than taking action that we took last week. The move to kill Soleimani has not been met with universal enthusiasm by Democrats. Well, we know that. Pelosi criticized the manner in which the decision was taken. She also would have criticized the manner if he did not do any action. She said the initiation of hostiles was taken out without authorization for use of military force against Iran, without the consultation of Congress, and without the articulation of a clear and legitimate strategy to either the Congress or the public. He is the commander-in-chief. He can do an executive order. He can, I mean, it's really hard to pull that off because, you know, we are a democratic society, and acts of war do need to go through Congress. That is in every history book in the nation. All right. So what we have here is now a really bad thing. And if they're serious, which everyone knows Iranians are, if they're serious, somebody is probably going to be dumb enough to do it. And they have, what do they call them? Sleeper cells all over the country, all over the world. And whether or not they'll be successful, I have no idea. I mean, you know, I'm not going to speculate on that one way or the other. I certainly don't need the NSA or the Secret Service at my door. And again, for the record, I am not plotting this. I have no intention of doing this. This is not for me. Thank you very much. I'll pass on being killed by the CIA. All right? But what we are talking about now is an act of aggression, an act of war. Surely Trump had to have seen this coming when he did what he did. There's a mixture of people supporting what he did versus what he did not, or what he did versus not supporting what he did. Obviously, the Democrats are in uproar because, as you all know, for decades and centuries, they're, you know, the political party that likes to, you know, roll over and do whatever. However, sometimes actions are needed. Right after 9/11, and we found out that it was Al-Qaeda, and we found out that it was bin Laden that was in charge of it, allegedly. That's another video. We took forever to get over there. We took forever to do anything about it, which is what raises a red flag. If you come into my yard, and you break into my house, or you harm anybody that lives here, I'm going to take action. Harsh action. So the fact that Iran is stepping up and doing what they're doing, and they're extreme. Guys, they're extreme. Okay, we were talking a little bit about the World Bank, or central banks, as they call them, and I actually found some notes that as of now, North Korea, Iran, and Cuba do not have a central banking system. They don't put their money in anything like that. And in the year 2000, it also included countries of Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya. And while we're not at peace with those nations by far, if you remember in the year 2000, 2001, we were going over there to fight terrorism. We're still there. But the news is not quite reporting on that as heavily as it should be. And now we're trying to help some of the people in these countries get out from under the influence of ISIS and whatnot, our shift has changed. Libya forfeited and rolled over a long time ago. And these countries now have a central banking system. So, I mean, you got to put two and two together. Is this really all about money? Because obviously money is the controlling factor of the world. You know, are we doing this to strike or to stir up a World War III to stimulate the economy? I will have a video as soon as I can get enough effort on it to describe that, you know, we do need debt, a lot of debt, to create money. Okay? We need to create this money in order to stimulate the economy and in order to pay government bills. Like I said, it's another video. But the topic here today is now Iran has responded. And what are we going to do now? Do you have a fallout plan? Do you have a plan to get the hell out of Dodge? Because if they do what I think they're going to do, we're going to be in big trouble. They have every capability of biological attacks. That's one of their favorite things to do. And that, like I said, they have sleeper cells here in the United States as we speak, who could attack our water supply, our food supply, anything, any type of supply. They could attack our gasoline and oil supply, literally crippling the nation. They could take out cell phone towers. Without your cell phone, I know darn well 90% of you watching this would not know how to act. I mean, for them to do a blatant attack on the White House or the Pentagon or whatever, we're kind of expecting that. I mean, these are thoughts here, okay? So, you know, that's all I've got for you today. I'm going to stay tuned on this subject more. But go ahead, leave me a comment. As you see, I respond to all comments. If you like and support this channel, you can go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button and click that notification bell for when I put out more videos. All right? Stay sane, stay woke, and stay safe.
Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.